The year is roughly 800 BC. A Greek poet named Homer writes the greatest road trip story ever told. One man, one goal, get home. 20 years of war, monsters, witches, and a wife surrounded by men who want her dead husband's throne. This is the Odyssey. The setup. Odysseus is the king of Ithaca. Smart, cunning, one of the best Greek warriors in history. The Trojan War just ended after 10 years. Troy is rubble. Everyone is heading home. But Odysseus won't get there for another 10 years, because he did something extremely stupid. He blinded a Cyclops. And that Cyclops happened to be the son of Poseidon, god of the sea. The man chose the worst possible enemy to make. The journey begins. The first disaster, the Cyclones. Odysseus and his men raid a coastal town, celebrate too long, and get absolutely destroyed when the locals call for backup. They lose 6 men per ship. Next stop, the island of the Lotus Eaters. Harmless sounding, terrifying in practice. Anyone who eats the lotus flower loses all desire to go home. Odysseus has to drag his own men back to the ships by force. Then, the Cyclops. Polyphemus, 9 feet tall, one eye, son of Poseidon, traps Odysseus and his crew in his cave and starts eating them. 2 men per day. Odysseus offers him wine, gets him drunk, tells him his name is Nobody, then drives a sharpened wooden stake into his eye. Polyphemus screams for help. The other Cyclopes ask who hurt him. "Nobody!" he shouts. They go back to sleep. Odysseus escapes clinging to the belly of a sheep. Genius. But as they sail away, Odysseus cannot help himself. He yells his real name back at the blinded Cyclops. Polyphemus calls on Poseidon to curse him. That was the single worst decision of the entire journey. Winds, witches, and the dead. Aeolus, keeper of the winds, gives Odysseus a bag containing all the bad winds, a gift that would blow them straight home. They are one day from Ithaca when his greedy crew opens the bag while Odysseus sleeps, thinking it contains gold. Every bad wind explodes out at once. They are hurled back to the start. The Laestrygonians, giant cannibals who destroy most of the fleet by throwing boulders from cliffs. 11 ships sink in minutes. Only Odysseus' ship escapes. Next, Circe, a powerful witch on the island of Aeolus. She turns half his men into pigs. Odysseus, protected by a herb given to him by Hermes, forces her to reverse the spell. They end up staying for a year. Circe eventually sends them to the Underworld, the land of the dead, to get directions home from the prophet Tiresias. In the Underworld, Odysseus speaks to the ghost of Tiresias, the ghost of his own mother, who died of grief waiting for him, and the ghosts of fallen heroes, including Achilles. Achilles tells him, being dead is terrible. Even the worst life is better than being a king among corpses. Dark stuff. Sirens, monsters, and catastrophe. The Sirens. Creatures whose singing lures sailors to their deaths. Odysseus has his men plug their ears with wax and tie him to the mast. He hears the song, the only man who ever has and survived. Scylla and Charybdis. A 6-headed sea monster on one side, a ship-destroying whirlpool on the other. They go past Scylla. She grabs 6 men, 1 per head, and eats them alive. Then, the cattle of the sun god Helios. Tiresias warned him. Circe warned him, do not touch the cattle. They are stranded on the island for a month. The men are starving. Odysseus falls asleep. They eat the cattle. Zeus sends a thunderbolt that destroys the ship. Every man drowns. Every single one. Only Odysseus survives, clinging to wreckage, eventually washing up on the island of Calypso, a goddess who keeps him there for 7 years. Back home, chaos in Ithaca. Meanwhile in Ithaca, over 100 men, called suitors, have moved into Odysseus' palace, eating his food, drinking his wine, and competing to marry his wife Penelope, assuming Odysseus is dead. Penelope, who has waited 20 years and knows nothing, stalls them with a trick. She says she will choose a husband when she finishes weaving a burial shroud. Every night, she secretly unravels what she wove during the day. She keeps this up for 3 years before the suitors catch her. His son Telemachus, who grew up without a father, sets off searching for news of Odysseus. Finally, after 7 years, the goddess Athena convinces Zeus to order Calypso to release him. The Return. Odysseus arrives home disguised as a beggar. He is recognized only by his old dog Argos, who wags his tail and dies. Penelope, not knowing who he is, announces a contest. Whoever can string Odysseus's great bow and shoot an arrow through 12 axe handles wins her hand. One by one, the suitors fail. Not a single one can even string the bow. The beggar asks for a turn. They laugh. He strings it with one hand, shoots through all 12 axes. Then he and Telemachus barricade the doors. What follows is a slaughter. Every suitor dies. Penelope, still cautious, tests him, asking about the secret of their marriage bed that only Odysseus would know. He knows. 20 years after leaving for Troy, Odysseus is finally home. The greatest journey in literature. Over. That was the Odyssey. One man's 20-year battle against gods, monsters, and his own terrible decisions. Subscribe for more ancient stories told fast. Drop a comment. Which part of the story surprised you most?